morning, Canadian Yarn Heart. My name's Alyssa, and today I'm going to be doing this stuffed jellyfish. It is a glow in the dark. I will show the yarn in a minute, but I wanted to start with showing the progress on yesterday's daily update. So I've gotten the pockets. I'm most of the way through the back. I will be starting the slits to open the arms soon. It is going faster because I did change to a 6.5. I forgot my light. Let's turn that on. There we go. And now. And these are season baits. It's a 6.5. And those are the beautiful knit stitch protectors. And so I did have to go back to this beginning edge again and start all over again. But I did get all that done yesterday. So I do hope in the next few days I will have that done. But today, as I said, we are going to be doing a stuffed jellyfish. This is the yarn I used. So it is Lion Brand DIY Glow Chenille. I did use pretty much 2 and a little bit of this one, so 3 balls you would need. I am going to make this one a little smaller, so I'm going to use a smaller hook. I used a 4 and a 3.5 for this one. I'm using a 3.5 and a 3, and I'm not going to make it quite as large. It does come in these 4 colors. They do all glow. I will pause and I will show you that in a second. I will show you how well they glow in a second. Actually, I will show you. This is a UV light. Just get a nice good charge to these yarns. And then I will pause. And I will show you how well they glow from just that quick. So I just have my little yarn room, little yarn closet, I like to call it. And there you go. There's the 4 of them. Turn on the light. And you see, like I said, it's just my yarn closet. Very small room. But it is where I keep most of my yarn. So that's that. So that is the 4 yarns. And you can see they do glow. For this one, we are going to do the white. I think that's what it's called. Yep. Oh, it's pearl. There's pearl, glowworm, gray, and I think this one is purple. So today we're going to do the pearl. And as I said, I'm going to use a 3.5 millimeter hook. So I'm going to change to my overhead camera and we'll get started. So as always, I hope to earn your like and subscription today. I hope that this is something you can learn from or you just enjoy watching. I know there's quite a few things I enjoy watching on YouTube that probably I'll never make. And as I find the center pole, there it is. I'll put the yarn over here and put this one to sit right about there and watch. There we go. So I have 2 hooks because I do, actually no, this one I don't think I need the second hook, but if I wanted to make smaller tentacles or whatever, when we get there, you can use a smaller hook. Oh, oops. Here we go. There, got the camera set up. So I have done this a few times and I discovered that normally I would do a magic circle on most yarns I'm able to work with. I can do a magic circle, but this one would not let me tighten it. Oh, that one might be too tight. I might have to use a 4 with this. So 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 3, and then you're going to go into the first loop And there is your ring to start. There we go. And this one does not like to pull apart. I'm thinking I may have to go with a larger hook. Yeah, I think I have to go with the 4. That's all right. So let me grab my 4. But I will definitely make sure not to. And as you see, if you see where I pulled it, it definitely shows the wear and tear. So now what we're going to do, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Chenille is not the easiest to work with. It is a more complicated yarn. I do recommend, if you're going to work with it, make sure you have at least some skills with this. And now what you're going to do is go 1, 2, or at least some experience. And you're going to go in the center and you're going to make your 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And yes, most of chenille work is by feel, not necessarily by looks. That's where experience is good to do with this. However, once you get a couple of rows in, 1, 2, and now we are going to increase just like we did with the last jellyfish. Go in and you're going to do 2 on this row per stitch. So 1, 2. Therefore, you are increasing. Now, 1, 2, and then you go to the next one and you go 1, 2, and you just keep going. It does take a little bit more experience. You can do this in a different yarn. You can do this in just a thicker yarn with even a thicker hook. I do, however, really like the full look of using a smaller hook, but that is also experience. It helps having the experience to use a smaller hook. I did want to give out a shout out to my bestie Amy. I know you've requested 2 different amiguramis, and I will be doing them. I will be doing some R&D soon. I have the ideas, especially for the turtle. So they will be a future episode coming up. And thank you for the idea. She left a comment, and I will gladly try and give that. So I will definitely be doing a turtle, and she wanted an octopus, so I'm going to start with the turtle. I have most of it worked out in my head, but the octopus I've got the colors, I've got the yarn I'm going to do. I just haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do it. So 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. Now with these, as you can see, there are eyes on this one, and I do appreciate you. I do not like my faces. I'm still working on them. I only started amigurumi, which in crochet terms is what we call toys, stuffed animals. We call them amigurumi. And I just started doing them just under a year ago now for some coworkers at work who wanted, there was some frogs, there was some elephants, there was some, there were so many of them before I left that job. And so I started taking chances. I don't have a lot of experience yet with them, but as I said, this one is very hard to work with. You want some definite confidence and experience. It is the same thing. You are doing just the same thing as you would with the other type of yarns. It's just really harder to see each individual stitch. That's what makes this a little more complicated. And then this one will be 1, 2, and then increase, and this will be my last increase because I think I did one more on that guy, so I don't want to go quite as large. Now if you did, by all means you can add another increase row and then increase. You would just go 3 and then increase, and then if you wanted to do another one you would do 4 and then increase. That's how you increase in Crochet World. So we're just going to keep going until we're done this row. So then the next row, I will not be adding an increase. It will be just the stitches you come across. And what I'm looking for is that right there. There's a little hole. There's a tiny little hole that you can see. And that is where I put the hook. And that is where I know to increase again. 1, 2, increase. 1, 2. I'm not going to worry so much about increasing there. So it's the last stitch. So now this one, we're just going to do all the same. Yeah, all the same. No increases. I just wanted to see if I wanted to do one more row, but I think I'm going to keep it this size. I want to make it a little bit smaller. And you're just going to go in each of these tiny little holes that you can see. They're actually larger than you realize, but the way the chenille is it definitely masks it. So you can't really see the hole, but that's okay. If you know how to work it and if you're determined, you will get it. And honestly, the really truth of it all is if you make a mistake, you won't see it a lot of times with chenille. You really won't notice it. And nobody else is going to know you made that mistake. So if you forget to increase in a stitch, you're not going to see you forgot that. Like, you're just not going to see it. So it's all good. It is a very forgiving yarn. It is a very harder yarn to work with. So I do recommend, if you're going to work with it, get some experience. And I also recommend doing something with the pattern first. Don't make this be your first time you do the pattern. 9 times out of 10, when I do something, if I take that pattern and I make something with it, a lot of times what I will do is I will do a practice run. A lot of times you'll hear me call it R&D in here. There you go. Now, this one, I'm going to put a stitch marker here for me because I want to know how many next rows I'm going to do. A lot of people will use stitch markers from the beginning. I'm not a big fan of them. I think it's a good idea to do it without them. It gets you used to it. That way if they fall out, you know what you're looking for. And this one, we're just going to keep continuing on. So not any different than the last row. But chenille is a really good yarn to hide. And as long as you can work with it. But as I said, when you do a pattern, your first one may not be the way you want it. Like this guy didn't quite turn out exactly the way I was hoping he would. But that's okay. I'm hoping this one will. This one will be exactly what I wanted. And if it's not quite right, you can always try it again. Or you just, it's where I was hoping. I think I overstuffed this one a little bit. So instead of being flat on the bottom, he's not flat on the bottom like a jellyfish would be, but that's all right. And I will be pulling out the eyes. When I get to that point, I will show you what I do with that. But I will, when I've done this row, I will pause the camera and then I will come back when I'm ready to do the eyes. And that way I will show you, oh, I forgot something, but that's all right, I'll grab it. I will show you how I do the safety eyes, certain reasons I do them, the way I do them, and probably going to pick the same eyes, even though they're really large and this one won't be as big, but I think I'm going to pick the same eyes. All right, so there we go. It's a much smaller, so this will use a lot less, but that's all right. That's what I was hoping for. I didn't want to use quite 3 balls. So when I come back, I will show you how I do the eyes. All right, so I just did one more row. I know that I want to have them right around here, so I'm not going too much farther. I have my eyes here. I will do the mouth when I'm done. The mouth is slightly different. There's those two. And this guy. Now, I did want to show the ones I was hoping to use because they are just so cool. I will show you the larger ones first. These are a glow in the dark. They do glow. And I was hoping to use them as a jellyfish eye. But, and then as I said, these are the smaller ones. But I don't believe they will look right. So I did settle on these guys. And actually, so right there. I think that's going to make it hard to crochet. So I'm going to do one more row. So I will be back and I will show you how I do it. Alright, so here we are back. Eye placement is very, very important. It can really, really throw your project off if you do not get this right. It can make it look weird and odd. So you really want to make sure that you like how they are placed. That'll do, that'll work. So now you want to pull them both out. You want to put the back on like that and tighten just a little bit. Now, these I just got last year. They are to help put on safety eyes. And you put them the flat side on that. You put the hole in the bottom and you squeeze them. And if you heard that click, that was it going into place. Now you're going to do it again. I don't like to put that there and then try. I like to put them on. Squeeze, so it is in there. And then you click it on. Then you just close these and you're done. Now, what I do like to do is I have what is called this. It is called a toker poker. Now, won't go into what that's for, but what I like to do is I like to heat the eyes up. This will prevent the backs from coming off just in case. I did have it happen. And then you just flatten it there. I'm going to heat up a bit more because I didn't like how that went. Flatten it out. And that way, that eye is never coming back out again. So I'm going to do that again. Light it up. Heat up the plastic, usually just a little bit longer. And then I like to flatten my toker poker onto it. And there you go. They should, no matter what, stay on, stay in place. And now we're just going to keep going to a few more rows, straight single crochet. And you do not have to do the safety eyes. I just have a ton of them. I enjoy having them. I bought a lot of them, so I get to use them. So I will link all of that in the description below. As I said, I do hope to earn your like and subscription today. I will continue on and I will come back when I have the desired length. Okay, so I did a few more rows. I think I've got it to the length. I'm going to do the mouth right there right now. What I'm going to be using, I ordered this off of Amazon. It is called Milk Cotton. It is a very unique yarn. Here's my yarn thread. It is a very nice soft cotton. It was a pack of, I think it was 50, but I could be wrong, that were just different colors. I have a whole bunch of them. It is a nice cotton. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start the mouth. So I know where I want to start it, which is right here. To come down and do that again. Now, I like to do that pre-stuffing, which I didn't mention at the beginning, but you will need some stuffing. What I like to do with stuffing is I will keep any pillows you're going to get rid of, anything like that, as long as they're actually polyfill and they're not foam. I have kept some memory foam, however, I don't normally keep some of the other foams that are out there. So, as I've stated, I'm not a huge fan of how my mouths turn out, but I'm learning to like them. So there's that. I also want to trim that off. And now, he's about the size I want him. I've got the mouth where I want it, so I'm going to just take these two and just kind of tie them up just so they don't unravel on me or a frog. 2, tighten that up, cut those 2 off, and now I am going to fill it. I have my little bag of extra fill here, which was a pillow many moons ago, but as I said, I don't see the harm in reusing fill like this. And you do not want to overfill it, which is what I'm pretty sure I did on the last one. Just overfilled it a little bit. There you go. Just a little bit more in this corner. There we go. So there's the basics. Take that off. So there's your basic head, the mouth. As I said, not my favorite. It always ends up not quite being what I wanted, but just have to learn to live with it. And now we're going to start another circle. So we're going to do it yet again. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 into that first one. This is a great way to start a magic circle if you're new, or if you just can't get the yarn to work. Like I just could not get the yarn to work. And then another way to do it is, as you see, I'm holding the tail here. I didn't do this with the top, but I can do that with this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now you have a much smaller tail, driving you crazy. Pull it through, and there's your first row. Very hard to see, as I've said. 2, and now we're going to 1, 2 in each stitch. 1, 2. Get rid of the black here, put it away. Oops, sorry. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and do one more in there. So 1, 2. And I do know that everybody says count your stitch count. And yes, it is very important to try to keep to that. But if you're learning and you make a mistake, it is not the end of the world. So I can sew this up here. So I am going to do that because I think if I do one more row, it'll be too big. So I'm going to pull that back or frog it. Now, I am going to leave a bit more of a tail on this one I normally would because I'm going to have to darn this. And what I like to do with that is, if you see there's one here, I can attach it so that way both sides will be anchored down. I want to go there and right about there. And just kind of weave it up and down. And that way, have your base of your jellyfish. And now it's going to be just like we did on the other video with the tentacles. They will be the same. But, as I said, this is chenille. So it is a little bit more difficult. Although those tentacles look really good in chenille. And now I've worked my way over to the first one. This one, thankfully, I do have a long enough tail that I might be able to get it with one. Just keep going around. And as I said, this one's just a little bit smaller. All I did was just not do as many rows up with the increase. If you'd have done 1 or 2 more row increase, you'd have had the same size. But I like the smaller size, to be honest. I don't think I need another big one in my house. So this one, you just, as I said, you just keep going around. It's just repetitive. Same thing. And you got it. I mean, if you think you can do this, you can do it. It is not hard. It's all about learning what you want and how to do it. And now down. And as I said, most people aren't going to know if you make a mistake, if you were doing that intentionally. Actually, I'm going to run that into the center. So I have those dangly things that go with the tentacles. I don't know what they're called in actual animal biology, marine biology. I'm not sure, so I do apologize. If you know, you are more than welcome to leave it below in the comment section. I do know a lot about animals. I do not know much about jellyfish. So, there is pretty much the head of the jellyfish. Pretty much where I want it, except for the mouth, because, yeah, not my favorites. Now, with this one, you do want to leave a bit of a tail. As I said, start your slip knot. And then you want to chain. We're going to go with 32 is what I did with the last one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 29. How am I at? 31 and 32. Now, when I did the other ones, I was really, really cautious about where I put my hook because you really can't see. You're going to go 1, 2, and then that third space, the third chain, and a double crochet these ones. And you're just going to 2 double crochets in each one. And that way I can just be done with the double crochets. Double crochet one, the single crochet ones. As I said, I did the same thing with this one. 1 double crochet, 2 singles. This was the double crochet one. And then these were the singles. I just think that the different size of tentacle is a good thing. You can have it different lengths. I just like the different thickness because I think in real life jellyfish have all different size tentacles. And that way it's a little more, I know it's a stuffed animal, but it's a little more realistic to the way the animals are. And you just keep going double crochet in each stitch. Yes, yet again, it is a lot by feel. You're using your fingers a lot more for feeling what you're doing when you're using a thicker yarn like this. And they are the nicest yarns, I know, but they are a little more complicated, a little bit more difficult to use because they are so nice. And some of them fall apart in your hands. Some of them have a lot of fluffs that come off. It is a problem with chenille yarn. Chenille yarn does not really like to be frogged very nicely. Some of them are okay. I've had a couple that, yeah, you can tell where you frogged it, but as long as you're gentle frogging it, it can be reused. Some of them you cannot reuse them because they just fall to pieces. The Bernat blanket yarn does not, but it is not, I know a lot of people will call it a chenille, but I do not call it a chenille. It is a nice fuzzy blanket yarn, but it isn't really chenille to me. Chenille to me is, it's a lot of these fluffs sewn together in the center. So if you see right here, there is a center stitch holding just a lot of fluff together. That is what a chenille is. I'm hoping to be able to show what I do when I attach chenille because I have tried so many different ways. And the only way I have found that absolutely works every time is to actually pull the chenille out, get to the thread, and then on the threads, you do it on both ends. You try to get both ends down to thread, and then you tie the thread together. It is the best way to attach chenille yarn. It is about the only way I found that it won't come undone, come detached. It's such a pain in the butt when it's trying to, when you're using more than one, when you have to add another ball or whatever you're doing. It's not a lot of fun because you wear a lot of the fuzz. And yes, some people have issue with that. I just, gets in your nose, makes you sneeze, but it is part of dealing with yarns. I don't think there's been any yarn. Actually, there's one yarn many moons ago when I was 19 years old. Actually, I was 18 and I was pregnant with my first son. And it was the worst yarn I have ever had in my life. And I can say that because it felt like twine. It was a cordage. It was horrible. I tried working with it. I think I actually threw it out because I hated it that much, which I don't throw out any yarn. Giving away yarn is a very hard thing for me. I am very much a yarn hoarder, and I am very proud of it. One of the things I always joke about with my husband in the store is I'll walk down a yarn aisle and I'll inevitably grab one, and he'll just look at me and I'll say, "It jumped into my arms, I swear. It just wants to come home with me to a nice, safe home. I'm rescuing it." And he chuckles and off we go, but I do it all the time. I'm giving it a good home. Yarn is my happy place. It always has been, other than my family. There have been times when my husband and I have had very stressful situations, and my husband has taken me to the yarn store to walk around the yarn store so I can touch the yarn and feel better. And it is my happy place. Oops, sorry. Twist and twist. You want to twist, twist, twist. Keep on twisting. Just keep double crocheting. And so I'm one of those that I'm always grabbing yarn. I'll probably grab some tonight when we go shopping. I'll grab a ball or two. I have an addiction. I am proud of this addiction. And, well, I actually know what to do with this addiction, and I actually have a lot of ideas. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep making these wonderful patterns and keep doing this because this is my passion. I have a yarn passion. I've actually this last few years started learning more about the fibers, the different fibers, the wools, and what their properties are, like cotton being absorbent and wool being for warmth and bamboo being for more like a light yarn where you can wear it in the middle of the summer. And I have the one cardigan that you usually see me in, and it's a nice light purple, and it is a bamboo cardigan that's on the back of my chair. It's nice when it's a hotter day, but I have a chill, and because I'm always cold, as anyone who knows me will tell you, I am always frigidly cold. It is the way it is. But so there we go. We tie them up. Now I'm going to take the longer of the two, put it on the needle, and I'm going to go to the back of the face. I'm going to put him on the back because he's the longest. And then I am just going to tie them all together. I'm just going to tie these two together. Then you have one tentacle and a couple of these extra little stringy bits that hold down. I am going to cut the two of them because I think they're a little long. I want them as long as the tentacles. There we go. And if you notice, there is a bit of flow. And what I was saying about pulling it out, what you want to do, you just want to pull. And you see how there's a thread there? That is what you want to tie up to the next one. So you do the same thing. And yet again, this is the best way I have found to use chenille yarn. So you just keep pulling the little threads out, just keep de-threading it. And then when you get enough that you think you can do a knot, I know this isn't enough, but you tie them up, and that will secure your yarn. That should keep your yarn from falling off your hook. And if you notice, there's a lot of threads on my tape measure. And that's not very long now, is it? So that's a great example of how one ball of yarn, so that's pretty much all one ball right here. So I'm not going to use that because what I will actually do is I will take this ball, thread him on the outside. I'll put the label back in place because I'm obsessive about how labels are. And there's that guy. And tighten this side of it up because otherwise it'll drive me crazy. So both my ends now, so the extra little pieces and my end. And now I go looking for my end, pull in the yarn. Now I'm probably going to create my own little yarn barf. That is what we call these. These are a yarn barf. There we go. That is a yarn barf for anyone who is interested. However, I would still much rather deal with a yarn barf than trying to unwind it from the outside. I am not a fan of that. Bit of a tail. Don't quite need as long as the one I had last time. Grab the hook. We're gonna go 32. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 32. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do is tighten. So just make sure that that tentacle looks really good. And now you're going to turn 1, 2, 3, and you're just going to single crochet in each and every stitch. And the curl comes from the increases. Because you're increasing it so much, that's why you get such a curl going on here. And that is how you make the tentacle. It's by increasing, you're putting on so many that the strand has to curl around itself. It's a great use for hair, unicorn hair, mane, I guess, lion's mane, if you're going to do amigurumi. There are multiple different things you can do with yarn. Just this would not be one that you would be able to comb out as yarn to make hair so that it actually looked like hair. It is not a multi-strand yarn. That will not lighten out into a really nice, I will show that in a different episode. One of the things I do want to do is make a troll's hat, poppy hat. I have the pattern here. It probably won't be pink and blue, but I will be doing that. And I'll show you what I mean with that, or if I decide to do like a lion or something, I will show you what I mean. I will make sure I use a thread, a yarn that can be brushed out so it'll look like proper hair. I do know that technique. I've used it before. And so coming up on the end of this tentacle, and then I will, like a triangle, try and put these at, so the front on just a bit offset of closer to the one eye, and I will do the same with the other one, and that should give a full looking look to the tentacles that are down below. Making the tentacles here larger, centered. Just keep going. It's a beautiful day outside today. No clouds. So it will take 2 balls of yarn for this particular one if you do it the exact same way. And these balls, just to say, I did get them at Len's Mills. They are $7.99. However, I do have a link for online because I think I have purchased one of the purple ones online before. Before we got them up here, I think I did purchase it from Amazon so that I could get the purple chenille because I adore it. And I do hear people, I have watched videos, people talking about like a greasy feel. There is a feel to the yarn. I won't say there's not. I wouldn't say it's greasy. There's definite feel to it. It feels, I don't know, like there's something there. Like there's a coating on it, you can tell. But I don't feel like it's on my hands. Now, if I were to recommend a glow-in-the-dark yarn, now I did order these this one off of Amazon because I absolutely, hands down, this one is my absolute favorite glow-in-the-dark yarn. It is soft. It feels nice. It is a tubular type yarn, which means they've basically knit it up. I don't know if you can see that, into a tube. And therefore it is probably stuffed. I have come across both where some of them are stuffed, some of them are not. Oh, yep, there's an end. And if you notice, there's a bit of stuffing in there. So that is a stuffed yarn. It is really, really nice to work with. I haven't actually worked with it, but it is so nice to touch. I can't wait to work with it. I have not come up with a pattern for it yet. So now this is the second tentacle. I'm going to come here. And as I said, I'm going to go in the front here, closer to the one eye. Pull it tight. Tie it up. And then I will do my last tentacle and I will be right back. So there we go. I've got the third tentacle done. What we're going to do is we're going to sew it on too close to the other eye. And then we will be done. Just to show, that is how much I've used out of the second ball. So it was 2 balls basically you'd need. As I said, the other one was 3, so it's a little bit more yarn, a little bit more than I wanted to use. So I didn't quite want quite that long. Oop. Tie this up. I am gonna take a picture of it. I'll show you in the dark after I give it a quick blitz with the light. Oh, those are a little long. Snip. And there you have it. Here is a stuffed jellyfish. Oh. So I'm going to give him a quick hit with the UV light. Give them both a quick hit. And I will pause you and I will show you what they look like in the dark. So there we are. There is, oh, there we go. Let's get the door shut. There we go. So there. Quick hit with the light. Turn it off. And there they are. Thank you for joining me. I hope I earned your like and subscription and have a great day.